TitleMatchNetwork.com.
What are your thoughts on the current boom in Italy?
Well, the boom's kind of over in Italy.
Wasn't
it was there for a while. Rikishi and those guys, and they got their money out of that stuff. But I think I think it could have if some people wouldn't have got so greedy, I think it might have and it teach his own, and go get your money. And I mean, I went in there and I sat in there at the Coliseum and not the old Coliseum, but the Coliseum venue in Rome, and in front of 11,000 people. It was filled to the rafters, and it was just a great atmosphere. But the thing is the tragedy of the whole thing is if it had been spread out and that money would have gone right. I mean, and people wouldn't have got greedy, that could have lasted a lot longer. You know what I mean?
Right.
We could have made it go, drag out, and it could have been really good for a few more years. But
weren't they doing great with merchandise sales? Weren't they getting like WWE merchandise in there and then selling tons of it?
Yeah, they were doing stuff like that. So, I mean, and that's what the people, was on TV. So it was really good. But the boom's basically over there because it's kind of been killed off.
You pretty much work a full schedule still to this day?
Yeah, like I said, I'll be 150 to 170 matches this year, which is, more than enough to pay the bills.
Is there anyone, I guess, in Europe that you saw work that you thought would make it but never really made it?
Good question. Well, you know what? There's some up and coming guys that are gonna make it. The guy most that could have made it and probably didn't just because he was a little smaller was Danny Collins, one of the most talented wrestlers I've ever seen and come across, in my career. Really should have been there. He should have been working for New York. If they were hiring guys like Rey Mysterio and stuff like that, they should have hired Danny Collins, because Danny Collins was just tremendous, and he's still working today. He's 2 years younger than me, and he's been in the business 2 years longer. Wow. He started when he was 14, and got in at the right time, learned a lot, and just, can work with anybody, and his stuff is tight and it really looks solid. And I'd say of all the people that should have got a break, should have got one of those breaks and didn't, was probably Danny Collins.
Looking back, you have any regrets?
No, you can't have regrets, man. I mean, things could have been different, sure, but I don't have any regrets. I don't hold anybody accountable to anything. I mean, either you're going to get the break or you're not. And everybody could... not everybody's going to get that break. There's a lot of great workers, and probably some of the better workers never got that break. Do I consider myself one of the best workers? I can't say that. That's somebody else is going to have to make that judgment. But I just feel that there's a lot of guys that a lot of guys just aren't going to get that chance, And so if you start regretting everything, then you're going to be bitter and you're going to end up having problems, drugs, alcohol, and stuff like that. I enjoy beer now and again. Don't get me wrong,
right?
But no, I basically don't regret it.
Out of all the wrestling deaths, which has hit you the hardest?
I'd have to say probably the Curt Henning thing really was a shock to me. I was really surprised when he went. I really didn't expect that at all. He just, he didn't come across like a guy who was going to end up dying in a hotel room. Just really didn't. It's just, it was something. It just bothered me. At that point. I mean, I hadn't even talked to him probably in about 10 years. Before he died, but. It was, just because he influenced me at an early age, and when I got into the business and stuff like that, and every time I saw him, we got along, and we'd go and have a few drinks, we'd party together, we'd have a good time, and we'd pick up where we left off. I mean, it was just, it was a shock to me when I found out he'd passed.
What are your thoughts on UFC boom?
Great. Mixed martial arts is pretty violent, you know what I mean? I don't think it affects us. I think that's more, it affects boxing more than us, because we appeal to young men in their puberty, but at the same time we appeal to children, and we're more family oriented in our entertainment than what UFC would be. So it's not affecting us.
Would you ever want to write a book?
I just don't think that I've, if New York called me and said, hey, listen, we're going to give you a run and all that stuff, and we want to use you, and I got a 3-year run with them or a 2-year run or whatever with New York, I might think about it then. But right now, I just don't think that there's going to be enough people out there that are going to buy the PN News book. You know what I mean? Some people will remember me, some people won't. Really, neither not here and there. But I mean, I've enjoyed my career, and I'm going to keep going until I can't go anymore. And hopefully, I'll quit before I've washed up. You know what I mean?
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.